What in the world is happening in the secondary market? Make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was telling me that Troll and Toad currently is no longer buying Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, most of you aren't going to give a rat's butt about this. But there is a very interesting thing happening out here with multiple pieces that work in the secondary market. I'm going to teach you a couple of interesting little things here that we like to call making the Yu-Gi-Oh! Economy work. Now, for years, Troll and Toad was this big Pac-Man. They would eat up bulk out here. And then this bulk would somehow turn into like these resealed packages on the secondary market. It would be either, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And all these things. But over the years now, Troll and Toad has now switched owners. I believe that there was a buyout a couple years back on the company. I'm not too sure on the details on that. I'm a little bit hazy on lore of this. But in more recent times out here, Troll and Toad is not picking up Yu-Gi-Oh! Bulk. Actually, it's not just Troll and Toad. A lot of places are not picking up Yu-Gi-Oh! Bulk. Now, I'm sure most of you probably look at your bulk and you're like, this is worthless. And a lot of people choose to throw their bulk away. A lot of people don't know this, but large amounts of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bulk, by like 1,000, 200, 300, did have value. And it still has value. It's not on the grand scale of things that it used to be. But the good old days of bulk, you used to be able to get $20 per 1,000 commons, which is insane. Now, I'm sure most of you also don't know this, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Or a Pokemon bulk also used to be an insane thing. Pokemon bulk used to go for, I believe it was, I think it was some insane number. I think it was like 3 cents a common to 4 cents a common or something like that. Now this was years ago. There is also still places that I know that you can actively trade your Pokemon bulk in and get some really good stuff. You can get like boxes of future product. Well, maybe not so much with the current the boom that's going on right now in the back, but Pokemon bulk has calmed down a little bit on its side. You're not getting $30 per 1,000 anymore. No, you're realistically, I believe last I looked it was $15 per 1,000 was a good number. On Pokemon bulk, because the printer's just printing this stuff into oblivion, which is good. So why is it important that bulk is worth something? Why does it matter that your garbage could, when you're looking at, commons, for example, out here, all this extra stuff from sets, even like these super rares. I mean, well, that's worth like 30 cents, but why is it when we get into this? Well, here's the thing. One, stupid cards complete orders. That's always going to be one of the craziest things I tell people. If I've got, all the ultra rares and stuff that you are looking to buy, but I don't have the commons, you're willing to take your order elsewhere just to get the little stuff that you need. Little cards, those 10, 15 cent garbage cards, sell bigger product. All right, well, if that's the case, then that means there's technically less bulk on the market for people to pick up. Technically, that's true. I mean, TCG Player just partnered up with a company to make a sorting machine, technically to make sorting bulk easier. So, if you've got a good couple $1,000s, I don't even know how much those things cost. I know TCG Player was looking for people to want to pick those up, but I mean, it's worth it, sure. But all of this, though, this has to have some sort of value. And when the bulk people stop picking up bulk, then the bulk truly becomes worthless. So here's the thing. Where's all the bulk going? Besides in the trash right now. Who's picking this up? Well, you have a couple people out here that, to my understanding, The bare minimum on bulk right now, most people will pay $5 per thousand on, Yu-Gi-Oh! Bulk, depending on what it is. If it's a bunch of like garbage rares and things like that, not going to happen. But you will find some cases where people are willing to pick it up for, $10 per thousand. You get the holy grail of the penny per, which sometimes is really worth it. But right now, the state of things in the bulk market is not it. It's not good. Especially what inspired this video is Troll and Toad just not buying Yu-Gi-Oh! Period anymore, which means when such a big titan, you had Toy Wiz fall back in the day. Toy Wiz did so much for Yu-Gi-Oh! And then they just, they're still there, but they're not really the titan that they used to be. If the average person doesn't have faith in the big names, like Troll and Toad has vanished off into the sunset, who do you have left? Core TCG, you have Ideal 808. I'm sure most people know about like the side deck and Grandmaster Games, but you're only going to know about side deck and Grandmaster Games if you've been to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Event, or if you've been to a regional. Like, you're still not hitting that super competitive crowd. To the super casual crowd. Now, Ideal 808, if you play card games, I'm sure Ideal 808 gets massive buy list for the most, interesting stuff. I've strolled through Ideal's website. I've seen some of the crazy things they're picking up for, like, dead card games like Buddy Fight. Like, they're still out there. They're, the wheels are turning. These things they're shifting in places in the market. But when you see a big titan taking a step back from these things, just actively going, I'm going to just remove myself from the equation for the time being. Troll and Toad could come back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Eventually. Anything's possible right now. But if you, right now, wanted to go sell bulk Yu-Gi-Oh! Product, which, by the way, I hate to tell you this, but I know a lot of people in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Space that use Troll and Toad. This is also a big one for people outside the U.S. This affects, we sit very comfortably here, atop, living in the U.S., but the amount of people that use Troll and Toad is like, we could buy from here because we were international. They had good rates. We could move in product, get store credit, get other things. That doesn't exist anymore. There's a space to be filled for this. There's a hole in the community that I'm really, really intrigued with right now. Because if somebody could come through here and fill this void on a big scale, and they could do something about this, there would be some interesting breakdowns. But a company doesn't spawn like this overnight. Troll and Toad's a household name at this point. They've been here for, as long as I can remember trading card games, I feel like. They've been this titan in the community, and we no longer have this right now. So, state of the bulk market is absolutely garbage. Has been for years. That should be really no surprise to people, actually. It's working on the back end still. Troll and Toad appears to be backseating out of the game. The amount of people that are present in the game right now that are the quote-unquote, big stores and not the backpack vendors that you guys get the chance to see every other event. I'm not saying that they're dwindling, but the big players right now, it's not very impressive with who's left. And, obviously, growing a small company into a big company is not going to happen over time for some of these people. But from where we're sitting right now, everybody, it's a pretty big hole. So I hope that, you're just not going to dislike this video, because the bulk market, the analyzation of the bulk market, the back end moving pieces of the market that you don't see being affected by this is astronomically large. And I don't like that fallout, actually. But what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.